Hey, what's going on? It's Matt Ross coming at you with another video. I'm the Lone Wolf. Today we're going to be talking about how I view the world, two different viewpoints I have on the world. One viewpoint, life is a dance. The other viewpoint, people might take life as life is a brutal struggle against an unrelenting, chaotic reality. And one viewpoint can age and destroy you, while the other can empower and inspire you. So today what we're going to be talking about is the dance of life and the importance of looking at things that way. So I'm going to start with a story because I think it's important to draw my real life, what's happening with me in real life, to what I actually know is a good philosophy on life or an important way to look at the world. So as you're aware, recently I've been laid off from my bank job, and I've been currently, if you've been watching my videos, I've been working with a lawyer on negotiating my package. So I met with a lawyer. My lawyer is a $900 an hour lawyer. He helped out a friend of mine. It's my first meeting. He told me exactly what I needed to write back, and what my expectation would be, and how I could advocate for myself. So I followed his advice. I sent the person that provided me the package an email with what I felt was a fair package, and I waited for a response. In my email, I said I gave them a week to respond. They took 2 weeks to respond. Fine, whatever. And at the end of the day, what they ended up saying was, we've given you a fair package. We're not going to give you any more. If you have any more questions about your package, feel free to call the HR team or have your lawyer reach out. So right then and there, I was thinking to myself, fight. I was like, okay, fight or flight, right? That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, you know what? Screw these people. I'm going to get more money because that's what I deserve. And this is my thinking. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. So I reached back out to my lawyer and I said, listen, they haven't budged on the package. And so I think we need to move forward with challenging with the lawyer. So my lawyer said, okay, no problem. We can easily do that. One thing he did mention though was, listen, man, your best outcome here is maybe, if you're lucky, and I don't think you can get it, 3 months extra. Your worst outcome is 0.8 months extra. And he asked me, is the juice worth the squeeze for you? Which I was surprised to hear. And that brings me to my philosophy, one of my philosophies on life, which is life is a dance. And when you think about life as a dance, what I mean by that is you need to know when to step forward, when to step back, when to step to the side. You need to know how to move to the rhythm of the world or the beat. And sometimes you're killing it, sometimes you're not. And sometimes you feel like you're moving forward, but you actually have to take a step backwards to move forward. And it's not about the individual steps. It's about all the steps put together that create something much larger, which is your life, essentially. And the key to life, essentially, in my opinion, is you need to know when to exert your willpower and go for what you want. But also you need to have the humility to recognize when you need to sacrifice your ego or your outcome-based thinking to what is. Sometimes you need to take a look and determine, this is out of my control, and nothing that I'm really going to be able to do here is going to influence this. So in my case right now with the lawyer, my mentality could have been, screw this people, screw the bank, this person's trying to screw me over, I'm a victim, this ain't good, I deserve more. And that could have been my whole philosophy. But I recognize that life is a dance, and sometimes you're stepping forward, sometimes you're stepping sideways, sometimes you're misstepping, sometimes you're going backwards, sometimes you're on rhythm, sometimes you're off rhythm. But life is a graceful dance if you allow it to be. Or you could have taken the old perspective that I had, which was, you hate reality. Reality is brutal. Everybody's out to screw you over, and the world sucks. And it's just an unrelenting series of misfortunate or adventures or events. So that's why I think it's important for us to really look at the world differently and look at it. I like to do the dance videos. I love the dance. So, and that's the thing, if you watch all my videos, if you watch a lot of my videos, here's a TTC for you. You'll see that I throw in dance videos all the time. Because I truly do love the dance, and I do believe in the power of dance. And the world is a dance, and your life is a dance. I really do. I know that's the case. So, I implore you to change how you look at your life if you can. So, as I was saying, we can approach this life as a brutal struggle against a chaotic reality, or as a graceful, unchoreographed dance. And I think when you approach the world as if it's a brutal, uncaring reality, it's the little things that can really set you off. If you think about it, you're driving in your car and somebody cuts you off, you freak out, you start swearing, your cortisol is going up, you start stressing yourself out immediately. How does that help you? How does that help your life to react to such mundane situations like that? There's nothing that good that comes out of it. You're tying your shoelace snaps. These are the little things when you view the world as a brutal, unrelenting reality that doesn't care about you. These are the things that make you lose your mind. Or you spill your coffee, or your kid doesn't listen to you, or something happens. 1 second, I gotta pass them. This noise. Or this noise right here, right beside me while I'm doing my video. Uh-oh, I think I missed my turn. Gotta go back. Of course I do. Yeah, I do. So I'll go by I'm gonna go back this way. So you can't let the mundane things bring you to your knees. You just need to accept, hey, sometimes shit happens in life, and sometimes good things happen. But at the end of the day, you can't get too inflated, and you can't get too deflated. There's a world of people that are counting on you. So for anybody out there that feels completely down and out right now, you got to understand that this too will pass. It's not nearly as bad as you think it is. And it will get better. It always does. Think about a formerly terrible time in your life and see where you are now. So you have an opportunity in everything that you do to view life as a dance, or you can view it as a brutal struggle against an uncaring reality. Now, I think it's also important to understand about the beauty of dance isn't necessarily the single steps, the individual steps, but it's the flow of everything coming together in its own way to create something much larger than just one step. A life lived properly is going to have lots of steps forwards and step back, steps to the side, missteps. No life is going to be a perfect step every single time. Who wants to watch a life of just winning? I can think of one person that was just winning, Mr. Charlie Sheen. What happened to him? Mr. Tiger Blood. Missteps happen. And I think it's important to take that in consideration when you're going through different things in your life. What else I want to talk about here? So as I was saying, life is a dance if you allow it to be. And I think it's important also to understand that sometimes in life we might feel like we're giving up. I think that it's important to understand there is a difference between giving up and letting go. In letting go, you consciously do what can be done, but also recognize the limits of your will, of the will. There are times where you take the lead in life, assert your will and go after what you want. And there are also times at letting go of your agenda and accepting what is. So I think you need to ask yourself this question. Is life a struggle against an unjust and brutal reality? It can be, if you look at it that way. I prefer to look at it like a dance. And I prefer to look at it like a dance. And each step forward, with steps forwards, backwards, sideways, etc. I choose to take life with grace and beauty and expect the best. I don't attach myself to specific outcomes or timelines. I allow my life to unfold like a wild, unchoreographed dance. And you'll see me posting more and more dance videos as we go through this. So I really implore you, when you have good steps, bad steps, missteps, good things happen, bad things happen, however you perceive them. If you look back on your life, you're going to see how things have worked together. And that sometimes the best thing you think that's ever happened to you in your life is actually the worst thing that ever happened to you. And the thing that you thought was the best thing that ever happened to you is actually the worst thing that ever happened to you. Think about that relationship that you wanted to hold on to forever and ever, and you didn't want to let it go, and you thought, this is the end of the world. If I can't have this woman in my life, or if I can't have this man in my life, then my life is not worth living. Now think back on that. Now think about where you are now. Do you still feel the same? Of course not. Because as with all things, this too will pass. And I think it's important for us, don't forget that. So when you think that you're at your absolute bottom place, know that life is a dance, and that when you look back on it overall, it has the opportunity to be graceful and beautiful. And the more you struggle against, so for example, when you struggle against the tide, you're caught in the tide. If you swim against the tide, what's going to happen to you? You're going to burn yourself out, you're going to tire yourself out, you're going to drown. But if you let the tide sweep you away and you go with it, you at least give yourself a chance. And they always, as I said before, a great philosopher said, you can never step into the same river twice. You can never step into the same world twice. You can never be the same person twice. What does that mean? That means everything's constantly changing all the time. Period. Stop. And you can't fight change. Change is the current. What you can do is you can roll with it, you can flow with it, you can accept it. And you can move forward. Or you can fight the current and you can let it destroy you, you can let it drown you. Your decision, your choice. Is life a brutal struggle against the current? Or is life an opportunity to flow with it? It's up to you. So when you wake up in the morning, put your 2 feet on the ground and thank the world for being able to breathe the air. Look forward to your day, no matter what your day is going to be. And if you aren't where you want to be right now, then you need to start thinking and you need to start taking the steps to get where you want to be. But it starts with your mindset. If you wake up every morning and you're depressed and you don't want to do anything and you're not willing to put the work in. Because you are, at the end of the day, you are what you do every day. If you just sit around every day and you do nothing, you become nothing. But if you take the steps and you make decisions, consistent decisions. This fucking guy. See, there you go. Consistently make decisions, whether that be if you want to, get in better shape, whatever the case may be, or you want to become a better guitar player, or whatever the case may be, or you want to start your own side hustle. It starts with you, and it starts with what you do every day. If you work, get off of work, and the first thing you do is come home, turn on the TV, start playing video games, like, what is his name, Bojack's. Where do you think that's going to get you? It's not going to. You're not practicing a skill. You're not doing a side hustle. So if you don't want to do what you're currently doing right now, what is it you want to do? What brings you energy? What steps are you taking to get there? And are you looking at the world like you're the victim of it? Because if you are, you are. What we need to do is accept that things don't always go how we plan them to be going, which is life. Imagine if you just planned everything and it worked out perfectly every single time. That would be a shitty, boring life. Okay? Life's got ups, it's got downs, it's got times where you're not doing anything, times where you're not feeling much. But what also life has is opportunity. Opportunity to become yourself. Opportunity for you to get to know who you are. And how do you show the world your uniqueness? And how do you rise above victimhood and rise into yourself and become the known wolf? I'm Matt Ross.